The music
Hey,
was
hey, everybody. All right, welcome to Tuesday Together Talk. I hope you all can hear me and see me. We are trying something new. So if you can hear me and see me, please make sure you drop me a hello, a thumbs up, or something so that I know that we are on your Facebook page or you're on Building Reconciliation Inclusion, Diversity and Gender Equity page. Just say hello out there, all right? Um, I am excited. I have one of my very dear friends who is our special guest conversationalist tonight. You all know me by now. I'm Reverend Rebecca Burrow. I am the founder and the CEO of Building Reconciliation, Inclusion, Diversity, and Gender Equity. Hello, Julia James. Hello, Terry Finkton. Hello. I'm glad you guys first Tuesday together talk. So, I'm just so get to disappearing. I'm not sure if he's disappearing on you all or not, but hopefully he'll stay present during tonight's segment. Happy anniversary Tuesday Together Talk. Julia says, I'm freezing now. So let me see here what's going on. How about now? Is that better, Julia? Can you hear me?
You were
Let me
cutting in and out at first.
Okay, let me see if everybody can see me. Terry, can you see me? Give me a thumbs up, somebody, if you can, because I can hear and see myself, but okay, better comes and goes. Okay, so this is going to be the interesting thing with technology. Good evening, Karen Franklin. Hello. Better. Okay, so hopefully it'll stay good all night long. Okay. So I am just excited to have you all here tonight. We're going to be trying some new things all night long. This is going to be interesting, y'all. Um, Thank you so much for hanging out with us and trying this out for the first time. Y'all, it's been 1 year since we got this started. Now, I'm going to let Niall interview me tonight. So I'm not going to go into why I started Tuesday Together Talk. I'm going to let Niall ask those questions. But before I get this night started, I do want to thank everybody that has ever been a guest conversationalist, that's ever been in the audience, who's ever left a comment, who's ever made a topic suggestion. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and getting to know this platform. Thank you for just supporting Tuesday Together Talk over this past year. It was a year of COVID, and it was hard on all of us. We had an election that happened. We had a pandemic. We had riots. We had protests. We just had a whole bunch of stuff. And Lord have mercy, some of it's still going on, but we're not going to talk about that tonight. So, in the meantime, I just want to thank you all so much. And thank you, John Niall Broaden, for being our guest conversationalist tonight. As you all know, Niall, as I call him, he is a regular Tuesday Together Talk audience member, and he puts he's always got interesting comments. So I thought, who better to come on here and talk with you all tonight? Now, what I also want some other people to volunteer, because I need for you all to get ready for that final Tuesday in July, which will be our big culminating event. And I want some more audience members to come on here and hang out with me. Okay. All right. So, John Niall Broaden, thank you for joining me this evening.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
I
feel
want
special.
you to tell the people a little bit of something about yourself.
Well, I'm a special guest because I'm a special person. No, I'm just teasing. I've known Reverend Rebecca for quite a few years. We were going to the same church, and we became friends, and have been friends ever since. And so when she told me that she had this talk show, I was like, "Oh man, let me tune in and see what old girl's doing."
Yeah.
And it's been interesting. It's been an interesting journey. Interesting guests, interesting topics, and I'm a transportation specialist, meaning I drive buses and all types of buses: motor coach, school bus, shuttle buses, um, and I'm a musician of quite a few years, of over 50 years. I'm a drummer, and so I play drums all over. It might be different concerts that take place. I play at my church, and when found out that we had that in common, because Rebecca is an accomplished musician as well and vocalist, and so I said, "Hey, wait a minute now." And she was playing drums at the church before I came, and I was given the assignment to do it, and she was doing it before. I said, "Man, that's excellent." And I come to find out that she plays saxophone, and it's like, well, I played saxophone for a while too, and it's like, man, we have a lot in common.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's that's what I'm about, what I do. Hard
Well,
worker.
I appreciate you being here. Uh, I especially appreciate you because, as you indicated, we have been friends for a long time. And actually, Terry, who is part of this conversation tonight, I was just I was just talking to her earlier today, and I said, "Oh my goodness, I've been knowing Terry for 34 years. And that's a long time." So, and I think I've been knowing you for not as long, but it's in the 20-ish year
Yeah.
arena. So, so I'm just thankful for my friends who decide to, hang out and support me through my career goals and just over
Endeavors.
the
Yeah.
years. Yes, just so many different things. And so I am really thankful for that. Now I want you all to comment in the make your comments, and please know that we are also streaming to YouTube. So now Tuesday Together Talk is on Facebook Live and on YouTube. Y'all stay right where you are, though. Don't go anywhere. I want to keep you, I don't want you to move around too much because, like I said, we're learning. We're still learning. We're practicing tonight. But I appreciate you being here. So before I get into the first question I want you to answer now, I want the people in the audience to just maybe let me know what has been their favorite Tuesday Together Talk segment. Put it in the comments section. Let me know what has been your favorite Tuesday Together Talk segment. Okay. I want to know. I want to know. And then now, as they are writing in the comments section, I want you to tell me what has been your favorite Tuesday Together Talk segment.
My favorite one. I mean, and I like all of them. have enjoyed all of them, but the one that sticks out the most in my mind is the one that you did on Frederick Douglass. Because first of all, I had never heard that speech of his, and the way you had the different guests on the show read different sections or portions of the speech,
Mm-hmm.
and when you did yours, Girl, I was expecting when I closed my eyes and opened my eyes, I expected to see a big old afro with a part in it because you went into character. I thought Frederick Douglass had come back.
Mhm, mhm.
But anyway, um, it was interesting.
Yeah.
And, I being silly, I made the comment to you. They invited him to that speech, and that's the last speech he'll make.
Mhm, mhm.
We're not inviting him back again because we didn't expect some of the answers that he gave to some of our questions or some of the things that he brought up.
Yeah.
But it was amazing to me, in all seriousness, just how extremely brilliant he was
Mhm.
uh,
Yes.
in his in the words that he used to explain things and explain different situations, and I enjoyed it.
Good.
That stood out to me. And like I said, I had never checked that speech out.
Mhm, mhm.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad that you enjoyed that one. I'm still waiting to hear from the audience, so I'm hoping that I'm not missing their comments. I don't want to. I don't see any yet, but if you all can hear me, please let me know. I need your technical support this evening, audience. So if you can hear me and see me, please continue to let me know, so that we can make sure we're talking to you. Okay. Um, so one of the things, hello, mom. Oh, my mother found us. Can you hear me? Okay, mom. Okay. She said
Hi,
hello.
Mom.
So 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 there you go. Um, I really enjoyed that particular segment as well, Niall. One of the reasons is because I've always wanted more people to be aware of that particular speech and understand this whole idea of Fourth of July. And as Frederick Douglass says, um, what is the meaning of July 4th to
Hmm.
the Negro? And really, it's not just to, to the Negro. That's what, we were called at that point.
Right.
What is it to the Black community today? What is it to African Americans? And I especially like that particular speech because it's so relevant. Um, it's so relevant. It's when we think about voters' rights and things that we're experiencing right now, it's very relevant. How can we how are we celebrating the 4th of July when we are sitting here with our voters' rights threatened?
Hmm.
Voting is our independence. That's the key to our independence. So I really appreciated that one as well. Lisa said one of my favorites, the importance of being a registered voter. Absolutely. I appreciate that. It's it's so important for people to understand that they need to get registered. And actually, Niall, one of the first segments I did, it wasn't Tuesday Together Talk yet, but it was the first live I did was with first time voters, and it was young adults. I don't know if you joined me for that one, but that was July
Yes.
2nd last
Hmm.
year, and they were first time under 21, first time voters. And I was so incredibly impressed with those young folks who, were saying why they were voting and uh, who they might vote for and some of the issues and challenges they had. What did you think about the whole idea of voting and everything we talked about over last year? And actually, we're still talking about it.
Well, it was very helpful, and I mean, I knew who I wasn't voting for, and it was just something else, just viewing how President at the time did what he did.
Yeah.
I mean, throughout his whole presidency. And I think that talk shows like this one and made people more aware of how important it was to vote.
Mhm.
We've always, as Black people, have said, some of us have always said, well, our vote doesn't count anyway,
Yeah.
you know, and this election proved how our vote does count and
Yes.
how we can make a difference by getting out to the polls.
Yeah.
And of course, when Obama was elected, we had done it that time as well.
Yeah.
But I think that we even did it, you know, with more strength this time to
Yes.
get 45 out of office.
Yes.
You know, 'cause what more does a person need to see happen to think he
Don't
has
ask
no,
that question because
he has
apparently.
no more business there than a man in the moon? You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
so yeah, I'm just grateful for, like I said, programs like this and that put different ways of thinking into our heads and let us know, you know, how important our vote is and our voice is.
Yes. Yeah. Well, thank you for those comments. Karen said, I forgot the name of the segment we talked about, but it had to do with telling your truth or redefining yourself, being open and honest, reclaiming your narrative. Karen, I think that's the one you might be talking about, which was just a few weeks ago. Um, and that was the one where we talked about. I was alone that evening, but I talked about the importance of African Americans, Black people reclaiming their narrative, where it's not a story. Our story is not a story told by other folks
Something else,
whose
yeah.
only value of claiming our story is to miss or re-present it for their own. I guess their own
Personal gain.
initiatives or gain, exactly, or gain. Um, and then we also talked about your personal narrative, how important it is for us to reclaim our own personal narrative so that people understand that they have agency over their lives. When we allow other people to tell our stories for us, oftentimes they will also represent it as something negative, whether, if we've been in trouble in life or if we've done something that, can cause us shame or something. And we should be able to tell that story ourselves instead of allowing other people to tell it and frame it into something negative. We
Mm-hmm.
tell it, we own it, we get to say, yeah, I did it. So what? And I've grown from it. I've changed or whatever. Or even, some of the good things that we do in life. Sometimes people tell our stories and they don't tell our stories along with the struggles and things that we've gone through. They only
Exactly.
tell our story based on, well, look what she's accomplished or he's accomplished. It's like, do you know the hell I've gone through to get to where I am today? So we
Mm-hmm.
tell our stories because it also is our testimony and our witness. And if you are a Christian or whatever the God of your understanding is, then it gives glory for me, my God, for what I've been able to accomplish. So that's the importance of telling our narrative.
That
Julie
kind of
said,
tied in with another show you had too about not. I think it was another show about not being ashamed of that and listening to people and listening well to
yeah,
people and finding out after they get into what they're saying, then it's like, well, you find out quickly what all is a part of that person and some
right.
of what they went through explains why that person is the way they are.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Because I remember making a comment about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I believe that one now was the race equity listening when I had my fellow, we were called RAILs, race equity listeners. We
Hmm.
were discussing the importance of listening to people's lived experiences and their narratives. Um, when you hear people's story, then it forms a connection and a bond with that person.
Right.
It helps you see their human dignity. So yeah, that was the one you're talking about. Let me read this comment from Julia, and then I'll let you ask me a question. Julia says, make sure you are telling your true story, not the narrative you have been told by others, and start believing it. I know that's right, because Lord have mercy, some of the stuff we've been told by some folks, some of those narratives that we try to, push away. I'll read this one last comment now, and then you can be thinking about that question you want to ask me. Oh my God. Rachel Christopher says, hi, Reverend Rebecca. Hello, Rachel. I enjoy all the Tuesday Together talks. I do not have a favorite. All the talks have been very inspiring. I'm very happy to be a part of the Empowering Facebook Live every Tuesday. Happy 1-year anniversary. God bless you. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you so much. We're so grateful that you have decided to join us and tune in. Rachel has been a faithful listener. And she, along with you now, are the Tuesday Together Talk Take Two group experts. If you want to be a Tuesday Together Talk group expert, you just need to start posting in the Tuesday Together Talk private group and sharing some of this information we need to know and keep us informed about things. All right, now your turn. Oh boy.
Well, I jotted down a few questions that I have for you tonight. I would like to know, inquiring minds would like to know, how did Tuesday Together Talk start? And what was the motivation and the inspiration in it starting?
Okay.
Where did this come from?
Where did it come from? Okay, so I've kind of told this story a few times of when I, people that know me know that I really tried my best to stay away from social media. I really did not want to ever do Facebook, Instagram,
Wow.
Twitter, any of them, whatever they are out there. I just did not want to do that. Unfortunately, we had this thing called the coronavirus pandemic that made its way into our lives. And so I decided I had no choice but to get on the get on Facebook so I could start staying in communication with people and connecting with people. And especially as a business owner at that time, Bridge, my business was only 1 year. It was only 1 year old. Yeah. So that's the business that Tuesday Together Talk falls under, is building reconciliation, inclusion, diversity, and gender equity, also known as Bridge. And so I thought, man, I have to find a way to connect, because we're not hanging out with people for a while, it seems. And so I decided to create I wanted to just do a business Facebook page, but lo and behold, I had to also do a personal page. And so that's where I ended up with the Facebook page. And so one day I thought I was going to create some sort of announcement or something. I was going to tape an announcement for my business page and a video and put it on Facebook. And I tried over and over and over again. And as I was trying to do that, God continued to kept speaking to me. No, I want you to, start doing this live stream. And I was like, I don't want to do this. I do not want to do this. I do not want my face out there like that. I don't want to have to, no, no. But I tell you what, I decided just to go ahead and put the announcement out there, because once I put the announcement out there was no turning back. And so some of you that have seen the post from last year to this year, celebrating the 1 year, that was the post I had written last year about, hey, something new is coming, Tuesday Together Talk. The name is going to happen on Tuesday. I want people to come together and I want people to talk. So there you have it, Tuesday Together Talk. So That's where the name came from, and my whole purpose was to connect with people and also help bring some awareness and inform, but also have people to come into a place where we can just talk back and forth to one another. I know we don't sit in the same space, but I do appreciate the fact that I get to read your comments. And hi, Lo. I get to read your comments and I get to share this space with you all. And you keep me informed about things. And hopefully, I'm keeping you informed about things and we can talk about things. And when I say, yeah, I want us to talk about things, I want us to talk about the issues, but I want this year for us to live on purpose with talking about the solutions. Okay. So that's what we're doing. You know, we are going to talk about the issues, but we're going to be very intentional about looking at solutions and what we can bring to our own communities, to our societies, to our government, to our schools, whatever we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to keep growing this platform. I hope, Niall. I hope that answered your question, Niall.
Yes, and it's interesting. You remember at first when you started out, it was supposed to be a half an hour, and I told you from the beginning.
Yes.
Because first of all, you went past a half an hour like very early, and it's like this show needs to be longer. You need to give people more time to talk, and now look,
Oh, boy.
I don't know that an hour is long enough.
Oh boy. Well, the good news is, of course, sometimes we have special segments where we go an hour and a half, or I think we've even done maybe an hour, 45 minutes.
Once or twice.
Yeah. But, I really, that first time of being on Facebook Live, I was by myself and we were talking about reconciliation. Not only was I nervous, I kept thinking, and as a preacher, which we never have to ask this question, but I did ask it this time. What am I going to talk about for a half hour? What am I going to say for a half hour? Well,
and people's comments assist with that going smoothly.
Yeah.
And if people are not that's why you guys out there, she's asking you to participate and ask questions and make comments, because it does, it opens up all sorts of other avenues to discuss. And that's what this is about. This is a conversation. Yes. And conversation means more than one person talking.
That's right. Thank you now for saying that. I appreciate it, because you're absolutely right. The more the audience engage in the discussion, the more insight and information, the more we're all educated, because we're getting all these different perspectives. Sometimes people are informing us about different resources and things that are available in the community, or different things we need to stay aware of, because, oh my goodness, things are happening out there. And, so there's just so much that the audience is bringing to this conversation. And like you said, this is a conversation. And that is why I think, when I said God was pushing me, if I would have just videotaped something, then that's just me having a monologue, It's important that we are having this interaction. We're sharing knowledge. And I am so appreciative of that. And that's why I am just so thankful for the Tuesday Together Talk audience. So, do you want to ask the next question? Thank you, Mom. Yeah. Happy first anniversary, Reverend Rebecca. May God bless you in your work you are doing. Thank you, Mom.
She's doing an excellent job, isn't she, Mom?
Thank you, Niall.
I have to put plugs in there,
Yeah. I appreciate it. Okay, so you go ahead and ask me the next question, Niall, but now I need to see your face. All I see is your teeth or your
I'm
teeth.
sorry.
Okay, I need
Okay. Sorry.
to.
I should have thought of a better way to hold this camera.
Uh-huh.
To hold. I'll just hold it with my right hand. But anyway, how has the show evolved over the past year? And here's a two-part question. And where do you expect the show to go? Where do you want the show to go? Where do you want your viewers? What do you want your viewers to get out of watching Tuesday Together Talks?
Okay. So
Two
how
part
it
question.
has evolved is pretty much what you have what you stated. Um y- with we've gone from that half hour of me struggling to try to figure out what am I going to say, what am I going to say, to having phenomenal guests. I mean, we've had some amazing guests on Tuesday Together Talk. I've had some of my former professors from seminary. Um, um, Dr. Deborah Yunker, Dr. Ron Somerville. I've had my pastor, Pastor Benjamin Adams. Of course, I've had Carrie on here. I've had some of my colleagues on here. I've had a childhood friend who is also doing the work of equity and inclusion. That would be Valerie, who came and shared. We've had so many amazing guests, and I really didn't want to call names because I know I'm forgetting some amazing folks that have been part of this conversation, including my brother, Jerry Kelvin Maynard, who is pastor in Texas, and Trinity, who is a musician, who is actually today is her 21st birthday. She came on here and inspired us so much.
Yeah, that
Janelle
was a good show.
yeah, Janelle Keith, who is a business owner, she came on and inspired us just with so much great information about affirming ourselves and, her work as an entrepreneur. I had the group that we had on about with COVID. That was
With
Andrea,
Lauren.
Lauren, yes, and Steve. They shared their
And
stories about
Lauren.
COVID right in the midst of the pandemic, and that was probably one of my highest viewed shows. Tuesday Together Talk, highest viewed show. It was absolutely amazing what they shared from the depths of their experience. Um, they were very personal in their stories. So that was absolutely wonderful. There's been so many shows that I really appreciate and people I need to have back on here. Oh, Reverend Pastor Clyde Posley from Indianapolis, Antioch. He's pastor at Antioch Missionary Baptist Church in Indianapolis, Nile. He was on Shut Up and Preach. My son, my adopted son,
Mhm.
Reverend Marcus Derek White, and my other kind of sort of brother son in ministry, Pastor Isaac Lane. There have been amazing. So what I would love to see happen is that there are a lot of folks we need to have come back, like Julia James. Julia, we were supposed to do the show on kindness and listening, and that was the same day that the Derek Chauvin verdict came out. And we had to hurry up and switch gears because we wanted to really talk about that. And so Carrie, Julia James, and myself talked about that. But I need to have Julia back because we need to finish our conversation about what it means to really be kind and live in kindness, not just make it something that you grab onto every now and again when you feel like it, but what it really means to embody kindness. So so much has evolved. I can tell you that coming up, we're really going to be looking at this voters' rights situation. I know if people want me to do a show on critical race theory, and I probably will do one show, but I do want to tell people that my concern is that I keep telling people we can teach critical race theory in our homes. We can teach 1619 Project in our homes. We can teach that in our churches. We can teach it even for some on your jobs if you're courageous enough. We
Mhm.
have so many different places where we can do that teaching. What we cannot do is afford to lose our right to vote. And I believe that the way that the Republican and the Conservative Party have hijacked those two narratives, the critical race theory and 1619 project, to use for their own discretion or for the, for tools for their movement or whatever, is really a distraction to us who need to be focused on all of these voter restriction laws that have been enacted over this past actually they've been really in full force since January. So I want to really make sure that we're focusing on voting this year, and also everything else that we want to talk about. I want the viewers to provide me with topics. What do you want to talk about? What do you want to hear? So time, conversations, and topics we have involved. I forgot your other part of the question because I was talking so much.
It's okay.
So let me
You talked about the you mentioned some of your favorite moments out of the show. I remember that the show you had with the keyboardist was on, the musician.
That's the other person I wanted to mention. Do you understand? That's Nathaniel Mitchell. This brother is doing so much right now in the music industry. He has been nominated for another NAACP award, but he is up there on the Billboard charts now. I think he just posted the other day. He's on the water. You can hear him stream through Sirius on Watercolors. Yeah, on the jazz station. God is just opening up so many doors and opportunities for Nathaniel. And what I appreciate about him is that he stays very humble with what God is doing. But he is playing right now. I think I just saw him on stage with Najee the other day. And he's just playing with so many people, opening for people, and also playing with them and doing his own thing, and, on his own stage. And so if y'all can, make sure y'all go over to any of these iTunes and any of these other music streaming places and check out Nathaniel Mitchell. His latest, well, he's had some other release since then, but the Love Language album he just put out, make sure you check those out, okay? All right, so thank you for reminding me. I figured you would remember the musician.
Of course.
Okay. Rachel said, I'm glad God gave you the vision and you follow that vision. Look how God's work. Look how God worked. He is awesome. He knew this Tuesday Together talk was needed. Reverend Rebecca's Facebook platform and now YouTube platform has expanded all over the world. I believe that this will prosper every Tuesday and beyond. This is only the beginning. I received that, Rachel, because the goal is, I'm not trying to become famous. That's not what Tuesday Together Talk is. What I want is for people to start communicating and connecting, and for us to have a place of finding solutions to the divisiveness in not only our country, but around the world. I also want people to be informed and become thinkers, start thinking and analyzing information. There's just no way on earth to me that people should still be trying to figure out January 6th, 2020. I mean, there's just no way in the world people should still think that was a tour that happened, right? But there are some people that are, and there's some people that believe that narrative because that's all they hear. So what we want people to do is to analyze. Look at the information, not just put before you. Do your own research. And hopefully that's what Tuesday Together Talk will help people do. So now, do I get to ask you a question?
I don't see why not.
Okay. All right. Okay. So let's see. What made you start tuning in? You tuned in once and you could have said, I don't want to do this no more. Okay, great. What made you keep coming back to Tuesday Together Talk?
Because I know you.
Okay, you're going to have to explain what that means exactly.
Well, first of all, you're very bright. And so I just knew that you had something in the works for us with this program. And so after I saw the first one, there was no way I was going to miss any other ones, unless. And there've been a couple of Tuesdays where I've had other stuff to do, like as you know, and I'm in the midst of trying to do what I do, and I've got the phone on. I'm like, okay, I don't want to miss what's going on and miss what's being talked about. But I've just enjoyed I've enjoyed the platforms that you set up and the shows and the topics, and well, I was going to say, and there's another question: where do the topics come from? How do you decide from week to week, what you're going to talk about? And I know some of them are tied together. Uh, so it's like, okay, and I know you have to plan well in advance to say, well,
Yeah.
that week I've got to have these guests on. But it's been interesting roller coaster,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
And
Yeah,
yeah.
and with us being friends, it's like I could only imagine. First of all, and I know you and how nervous you were about doing this period, and I'm like, well, she's got to have support,
Yeah.
and it's like I can't call myself a friend and not support,
Oh,
you know.
thank you.
So yeah, and I'm sure you've got several,
Yes.
supporters and family.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was thinking about it. You asked me if I, had told my sons about this so they can watch, but if I'm not mistaken, this is being recorded, so it'll be a playback because my sons have a talk show as well
Yeah.
on Instagram, and I've been tuned in, and I'm like, oh, okay,
Okay.
that's interesting. So now I can say, no, this is what a talk show should be like.
Oh,
No,
well, I
but they're
appreciate
younger,
that.
so yeah.
Thank you so much now for that. Brandy, little Brandy says such an awesome friend, Um, thank you so much. I appreciate that. You know, there have been a lot of folks. My son-in-law, he was one of my first guests almost. My son-in-law, Greg, who's also a pastor in Indianapolis,
Hmm.
Pleasant Union Missionary Baptist Church. Look him up. Y'all check him out. He's a preacher for real. Uh,
You had him interview you too.
yes, he
Remember?
interviewed me. Yes. Um, I have members here at my the church where I attend here in Florida. Lori Clark, she's been on here. I mean, she's been hanging out since day one, pretty much. That so Lori Karen from church. In my phone, Karen is Karen Church. That's what I call her, Karen. Karen's on here a lot. She's tuning in. She's checking us out all the time. Sarah's on a lot. Darlene, haven't seen her in a few weeks, but Darlene is faithful viewer also. Gosh, I know I shouldn't call names because, like I said, I'm going to forget somebody. Lisa Friday, I appreciate it. And I've already said Terry Finkton. But how do I come up with topics? It's so funny because I'll use Julia, for example. Julia James, um, I met her when she was listening, when she became a listener when Nathan Mitchell was on because she is one of Nathan's fans because Julia's also a musician. And we connected. She sent me a message and we started talking. And we have a number of things in common. We also have different perspectives on some things, but we were talking and I thought, oh, wow, it'd be interesting to have her to talk about the kindness board and listening because she has a kindness board, virtual kindness board, and she talked about what it means to just be kind to people. And so I appreciate that. So topics sometimes come just randomly. Rachel has introduced me to someone that I hope to have on really soon. And sometimes topics come from what's going on currently, like when, voting or when Derek Chauvin case, of course, some of the protests and things that happened as a result of the murder of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor. Some of our topics come through that means. Some of our topics come just based on what building reconciliation, inclusion, diversity, and gender equity is on a mission to do, and that's to create a more equitable and inclusive and just world. And in order for us to do that, we have to recognize the dignity of human beings. And whenever I see that idea being challenged, I want to bring attention and awareness back to we have to recognize our shared human relatedness and our interrelatedness and also our human dignity. So topics come from different places. One person I didn't mention, Jabbar Edmonds. I don't know if you all remember. You have to remember that interview because Jabbar was writing back from Tallahassee at the time that we were doing his interview. But Jabbar, when I there was something, we were in conversation one day, just having a conversation, and we started talking about how we need the work that we need to do with our young folks in our community, and from that it became a Tuesday Together Talk. So sometimes just talking and listening brings Tuesday Together Talks. One of the conversations I did with Dr. Yolanda White, we were talking about COVID and the psychological impact it's having on children, school-age children, because she's a school psychologist. And I got that idea because of in my listening as a race equity listener, I was listening to moms, single moms and dads being very concerned about their children and their experiences in school. So I thought, hey, let me get somebody on Tuesday Together Talk that knows what they're, knows the content and is an expert in that area. So our topics, I mean, we get topics from a number of places, including from our viewers. And viewers, I need for y'all to tell me what y'all want to see happen over this next year. Also, the Tuesday Together Talk Take Two private group is another place where I'm beginning to get some topic ideas, and I will definitely be looking through that group to get more ideas throughout this next year.
I haven't participated a lot in that so far, but it's a way that even after you go off air, then we can continue discussing among ourselves.
Yes.
Different topiks. It's a good idea.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know how you became a group expert if you haven't participated much. But maybe because you post, although it's not much, it's enough that you get to become a group expert. So we got
I should be a group participant.
Yeah, so we got to get some other group experts. I know that Carrie, who has been on this program often, she has been a great support and has stepped in at a moment's notice sometimes when there's something hot happening out there and we need to talk about it now because it's making the news and it's just really big. We need to talk about it. Carrie I'm like, Carrie, can you jump on tonight for even a few minutes or whatever? We need to talk about this. So I really appreciate her support and help throughout this year. And she has facilitated a number of different conversations and discussions that I've been involved in. So I know that she's more than skilled and gifted in those areas. So
Carrie's the Energizer Bunny.
Yes, she is. She's known as such. Lots of people know her as such. So that she is. But actually, one of the conversations, I'm surprised nobody mentioned this. One of the conversations that had people talking, had the streets talking, as they said, was, can the Me Too movement and WAP era coexist?
Oh God, I remember that one. I kept my mouth shut on that one. I remember when I first heard that, and I didn't know what it meant. And a friend of mine used it or said that, And I'm like, WAP, what is that? But then when it was explained on the show, it's like, okay,
Mhm, mhm,
that's
mhm.
interesting.
Yes, yes. Yeah, that conversation right there, we had some great women on. We had Amanda, who was an attorney. We had Dr. Yolanda, who's a psychologist. We had Dorothea
Dorothea.
Merriweather, I'm sorry, Manley Davis. We had Jerry Lee Brown. Um, and that conversation was absolutely amazing. So we did part one, where that group was the panel. And then part two was when Carrie and I came in and we talked about some of the other issues related to the Me Too movement and WAP as it impacts specifically Black women and the whole idea of intersectionality. So that was that right there. Oh,
Excuse me.
that was powerful. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Carrie said, I'll take that compliment. She said, she put the little bunny up there. So, yeah, Carrie said, Me Too and WAP was one of my favorite discussions. It was really good. Those women shared, I mean, they were very honest in their perspectives. And what I loved about that conversation, there were, diverse perspectives.
Right.
Some, we all have different ideas of it. Specifically when it comes to WAP. And if y'all still don't know what WAP is, y'all need to find out.
Look it
Okay,
up.
figure it out. Okay,
Right. And it
if
was
you watch,
interesting too because of the age groups
yes,
difference
hmm,
in the age group of the women
yes,
in entertainment that are
yeah,
putting it out there.
yeah, yeah.
You know.
Well, I tell you what. Never mind. I ain't gonna say that. I was gonna say, look, never mind. I want to say something, but I ain't gonna say it, y'all. I need to learn how to be quiet sometimes. Okay. Now, let me ask you another question.
Okay.
Do you have any suggestions for future segments?
Oh boy. Not right offhand. Um, not right offhand. I mean, you do well. So let's go with the flow.
Okay, so I'm going to ask the audience right now to participate. I need your comments. Audience, do you have any suggestions? Any suggestions at all for future segments? What would you like for us to talk about? Now, if Rachel is still listening, I know Rachel wants us to tackle the whole the controversy related to critical race theory and why the conservatives have um, hijacked that narrative. I know Rachel wants that one, but for some of you other folks that are out there listening, let me know what you are interested in future segments. Tell us what you want us to talk about.
I just thought about something.
Okay.
You could actually discuss when the difference in a certain group of people selling their home
Oh,
and it being appraised quite a bit lower than another group.
okay.
And if the buyer found out that the person selling the home is black, then the home is going to go for much less.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When I heard that, I'm like, this is crazy. But then we look at, what goes on.
Yes. Yeah.
But that's something else. It's crazy that we have to go out of our way to disguise or to hide facts.
So
You know.
you're talking specifically about some situations that have happened
Oh yeah.
lately where the awareness, yeah, have happened with, excuse me, where there's been Black or brown people that are looking to sell their homes and they are praising at a lesser value when there's certain artifacts or art or
Mm-hmm.
uh, pictures or
Yes.
yeah, or just anything that reflects culture, Black culture,
Mm-hmm.
when it's present in the home and the appraiser comes in and he lowers the value. And so
Exactly.
there was a big case of that happen, I know, in Indianapolis,
Mm-hmm.
where a young lady had her home praised several times over by, yeah, I think it was 3 times or so, something like that, and it was praised at a lower, it kept lower and lower value. And then finally, she removed the pictures and had a friend of hers, which was white, a white male, to be the one that was present in the house as if he was the owner or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And the home appraised, what
All right.
was it, almost triple the amount?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Yeah. So that's one of those inequity issues that we face, because of course, what were we taught as children? We were taught that you own a home because there's equity in home ownership, right? And yet the system is saying you can own a home, but there's the equity is going to be 3 times, 4 times lower for you if you are a Black or brown person. Sarah
Mm-hmm.
says, I think we should have a conversation on how to reverse or avoid the Jim Crow laws that are being passed in different states. Yeah, yeah. We definitely need to talk about it, and we need to have some solutions. One of the things I want Tuesday Together Talk audience to do and feel empowered to do is to really be in constant communication with your state, local Congress folks, and also our Congress folks in Washington. We have to, you got to write, you got to call. When they do offer those town halls or whatever, or virtual meetings or whatever, show up, be present. Don't be afraid to communicate with people that have been hired to work for you. Now, let me remind you, now y'all done got me on my soapbox. When you go to work, you have a boss. Your boss calls you into that office at any given time and say, hey, we need to talk about your work performance, right? Right. Right. And typically every year you have an evaluation.
Yep. Performance
We
review.
have to start thinking about our hired political employees of ours. There are employees. We have to start thinking about them the same way. You need to call them into your office, whether that's through a letter, through a phone call, through make an appointment or whatever you need to do, and having a meeting with them. And then you need to give them a yearly evaluation. If they are not doing their job, then you know what to do. Send them packing. All
Gotta
right.
go. Gotta go.
All right. So now we have 2 minutes. You have any closing thoughts as we close out this first Tuesday Tuesday Together Talk anniversary? This is the first week though. We still got more stuff to come.
I just can't believe that I'm a part of this, and just here I am talking on the show with my friend. And it's like when you asked me to do this, it's like, oh man, do you want to do this? And I've had fun. It's been interesting, and I think we've gotten some good points out. And once again, job well done.
Well, now I'm surprised that you did not ask that one question.
Oh, I can ask him right now.
Oh gosh. Let me see. I don't even know if I want to know which one is it though. That's
How long does it take you?
no, no.
I don't complete it.
No. How long does it take me to get ready for Tuesday Together Talk? The same amount of time it takes for me to get ready for Sunday church service, okay?
Because I'm talking to you, and it's like I don't think I like this color on me, and should I wear this color lipstick? Should I wear these glasses?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
I
Uh,
told you now, I can help with wardrobe.
Okay, so there's another. Let me give you guys the inside joke because Niall is going way back in our history. Niall used to be a personal stylist, and his thing is clothes and styling people, and so he still enjoys doing that. So if
Yeah.
anybody needs a personal stylist out there, please let me know, and I'll hook you up with Niall. Okay. Listen, everybody, thank you so very much for being a part of Tuesday Together Talk first anniversary celebration for this week. I'm hoping that you will come back next week with more comments, more engagement, and just invite your friends to be part of the Tuesday Together Talk audience. I am looking forward to the day when I can actually have a Tuesday Together Talk conversationalist to sit with me in my library space now that we're getting towards, the end of COVID and everything. Now, of course, they'll have to be local because Tuesday Together Talk doesn't have a budget just yet. So we will need to have people that are local because we can't fly people in yet. But one day, as Rachel has already indicated. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Terry Finkton, for tuning in. I appreciate you. That's my girl right there. She's keeping me going, y'all. Let me say this one thing about Terry. The other week we were having a conversation, and we were talking about just some of the, some of you don't know some of the things that's going on in my personal life or whatever. All related to health or what have you. But Terry has been there for me, and she is really keeping me grounded, keeping me going, keep reminding me to turn to God through all things. But one of the things I had to remind Terry of the other day, it's because of her that I'm able to be here Tuesday after Tuesday and just keep going and doing the things that God is calling me to do. She is a type of person that is definitely a behind the scenes person. She'll support me and through years and years of things, but definitely right now when I need her most, she is there for me. And Terry has been that person that makes sure that I am in good headspace, that I'm prayed up, that I feel prayed for when I am trying to keep doing what I believe God has called me to do. And I'm so thankful for her. And Terry, I know that you bashful. You really don't want to hear some of that stuff, but it's just important for me to say that. Niall, I appreciate you so much because one of the things I know, we all have associates in life. There's people that, have certain places in our life or whatever. But when God gives you great friends, and I don't have, but there's one hand and that one ain't even full. God has given me some great friends, and I'm so appreciative of that. I am so appreciative of my mom, who hangs out from time to time. My mom just celebrated her 80th birthday, and I'm just so thankful for that. Look, my mom is still, we're finally getting her to the place where I don't know if she's gonna stop working, y'all, but at least she's gonna kind of maneuver a little differently. And my prayer is that she'll start taking some vacations and things a little more often. But I'm so thankful that she has been here and she's here to support me. And I'm so thankful for that. So I love you, Mom. Lisa says next year we will have to have an in-person second year celebration. Lisa, keep hanging out with Tuesday Together Talk. Take Two group, because we're going to do a celebration. So yes, we're going to do that. Terry says from day one. Absolutely, Terry. Thank you. So Niall, thank you so much. We're going to have you back on here. You're pretty good at this.
Thank you. I've had a good time. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you so much. I know you're tired of holding that phone. So
I'm okay.
Okay. So thank you all so much. Remember, you can continue to follow us on Facebook at Reconciliation and Equity, also on Instagram at Reconciliation and Equity. And now you see that we are streaming to YouTube. And it's also Reconciliation and Equity is our YouTube channel, and you can find us there. So I hope that you all will have a great week and that I will see you next week. I'm gonna keep playing with this technology, y'all. You know, if you didn't get to see the first, you can hear us at 6 o'clock. We even had a little theme song, y'all. So if y'all have not, you know, if you didn't get to hear our song, then you need to make sure you know, do a replay. Okay, we'll make sure the video's available. Lori said, "Happy anniversary with so many more years to come of great conversations." Thank you, Lori Clark. She's amazing administrator. And I appreciate her so much. She keeps me going in a number of ways. We don't get to connect like we used to, but at the same time, we still connect. God bless you, Lori. Sarah Gilbert, who's going to be our guest, because we're going to be talking about her book. She's going to be on here talking about her book. Sarah says, Reverend Burrow, you were meant to do this, so keep following God. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. And I thank you for joining the conversation. God bless you. Once again, I'm Reverend Rebecca Burrow, and my co-host for tonight,
Nile Broaden.
Brother John Nile Broaden. Thank you so much for being here. God bless you. Y'all stay safe, and please keep your eyes open on these voter restrictive laws that have been passed. Okay, y'all stay safe, stay blessed, and love you much. Good night, everybody.